everyone, my name is Michelle Akwe, or Michelle Oguya, as many people know me. This is Get to Know Your Presenter, and today we have the one and only Kiss Mid-Morning Show presenter, Cate Sidede.
Hey. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm alright.
Awesome.
So, tell me about yourself, your background story. Like, how did you actually get into this world
of radio? I literally call it this world of radio because it really is a world of its own. So how did I get here? Well, I did media studies in uni, but radio was never like, girl, this radio in front of the microphone was never in like the horizon.
Okay.
Until somebody kind of spiked interest. Entirely, like it was something I was never intending to do. I was trying to get into corporate communication, and then radio came up, and I was like, okay, let's try this. I think I started off doing voiceovers before radio, and then eventually I was like, I really want to do this. You know, I got into a few competitions, radio. Actually, I chickened out from a few radio competitions because I wasn't too sure, you know, I was good enough for it. And then a competition in the same station came about again, and I was like, no, we can't not let this one, like we can't miss out on this one again. Auditioned, didn't make it through anywhere. And I think that kind of made me think like, no, hold up, wait a minute. I think I can really do this. Like, don't tell me no, because it's something I think I can really do. And then I think from there,
you just went on and you did it.
Yeah.
What would you say was a defining moment when you realized that this is my thing, this is why I'm in radio?
Probably give it 2-3 years into it.
Yeah.
I think there's just a feeling you get at some point when I think either you're validated, like what you're doing is actually good, is validated, and then you're like, hold up, wait a minute. I think we can become even better at this, and better and better, and then so maybe like 2 years into it is when I realized I think I want to be here to stay.
What would you say that you've learned? You've done a lot of different shows. You were on Smooth FM, right?
Yes.
And then now you're on Kiss FM.
Wow.
So how was the transition? How was the experience? What's the difference between the shows?
Oh, a lot.
You know, approach, those kind of things. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, if you know, you know. I was at Kiss and then moved to Smooth FM and then brought back to Kiss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're two entirely different worlds, different audiences, different music, different pace, you know? So moving from Kiss to Smooth was, oh my God, I can actually admit it was like, it's been a defining moment in my radio career. It kind of put me in a position where it's like, you need to be able to adjust. You need to be able to just, you know, fit in wherever you're thrown in, if that is the situation. And I think we made the most of what we were given.
Do you feel like you were thrown like a fish into the water? Or do you feel like you were a fledgling chicken thrown into the water?
No, here's the thing. I went to Smooth with so much experience from Kiss. It almost felt like we're not doing enough at Smooth FM. You know, so I don't know what metaphor you can use to describe that situation. So Smooth FM was kind of slow, you know, compared to what I was used to at Kiss. So coming back to Kiss was like, this is where I need to be. I remember this feeling, and I think coming back was also like it's not a second chance because I mean nothing bad was happening before, but it was an opportunity to now, I think, give it a different go, you know, compared to the first time where it was like completely new. I don't know what I'm doing, but this time it's like I knew what I wanted to do. And we're gonna be doing this a second time. Let's go.
Okay, that's beautiful. So I'm going to go back to like more technical stuff. So my question is, what makes the mid-morning show, and like what is the best experience in there that like has culminated into your own personal gift, talent, pizzazz in the morning show, you know? Let
me say one of the best things about being on the mid-morning show that allows me to entirely be me is the fact that you're by yourself, first of all. I like to say I'm a one-man army because you kind of are. You're kind of controlling this entire 5-hour slot by yourself. You know, you're coming up with all the content for the 5 hours by yourself. Of course, you've got your supervisors and whatnot, but on a daily basis, you are the one to decide what's happening, what's going on. And if they can trust you enough to do this on your own, there's just a fulfillment that comes with being given that freedom. And also, I mean, listeners are like the best thing.
Really?
Yeah, they really are.
They call you.
They're like my co-hosts. I like to call them. So now they are my co-hosts. Actually, the listeners, those that call in, send tweets and messages and whatnot. It's just always a fulfilling 5 hours of my day.
Okay, that's beautiful. So, would you say that you have brought like your radio life, your personality, it's culminated to all parts of your life, like those kind of things?
Well, a lot of people tend to say I'm very private.
Yeah, as compared to when you're in the show.
I mean, I share a lot about myself on the show. If you listen, you'll pick up a lot of things about, Cate Sidede, my life, my family, relationships, friendships, things I love, things I don't, things I hate. I'm not afraid to say such things. But I think you filter a lot of what, well, at least I do.
Yes.
Oh, I know a lot of people that don't. They just all
out, but it's actually about the listeners, wouldn't you say?
So you kind of filter what you want your audience to know about you. But nothing that I'm hiding. I'm not hiding anything, But just enough to let you into who Cate is. I think so,
So what would you say is the best moment on air that you've had versus the lowest moments? And how has that helped you develop as a presenter?
Best? Well, the last few days, weeks have been some of the best, to be honest, because the show is just doing insanely well. So that's, I mean, things don't just happen overnight, it takes a lot of, clearly it's been a few years. So
it's now how many years?
Well, this is the 7th year.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Wow.
I don't know if I should say 7, because there's that 1 year I was at Smooth FM, so.
You're not counting that?
No, I don't know where to put that. I'm like, I was still in the building.
But somewhere.
I don't know. But it's taken that long. The show is doing really great. I love the listeners and the interaction, the engagement that we have on the show. So I think we're on a high right now. That always feels good. Lowest moments. Oh, wow. I don't know. Oh, we've cried in studio a number of times. Low, I don't know. I don't want to dwell on any low moments.
Or
I don't know.
Should I call it a teachable moment? Like something where you learned something that has fully gone into your development as a radio personality.
Okay, well, here's one thing. I do remember when I came back to KISS from Smooth FM. I kind of left abrupt. Like it was like an overnight shift. And that you don't realize until later that it kind of affects your listeners because they're used to slotting you into their day every day. All of a sudden you're not there. So there is a time when we came back to KISS, there's a listener that called me and she actually broke down, and she was like, when you left KISS, she felt like I didn't even give them a chance to say. It was this whole dramatic phone call. She didn't get to say goodbye and she felt like I had abandoned them and it was quite personal. And I think that, I felt it. I really did feel it. And you kind of now start realizing you are part of people's day-to-day routine, and that changes. I think it's going to affect people more than others. So that little moment right there, that phone call, it was like, Cate, you're actually doing this for, I think, a bigger reason than just talking on the radio.
I know. Yeah. Would you say your approach changed to how you do radio?
Oh, yes. I think I became a little bit more intimate with listeners.
Yeah.
Immediately, you're kind of like, you guys care. And I kind of care now, too. So,
yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. How did you feel when you first heard your voice on radio?
Well, I had done online radio. Here's the weird thing is you don't get to really hear your voice on the radio because it's live when you're in studio, so it's weird. But I had done online radio prior to KISS, so I'd already had that experience of kind of hearing myself on a radio show. So it's exciting because it's something you want to do and now it's happening. So
that's true. So would you say the competitions when you went for them was when you first realized you had a talent, or what was that defining moment that you realized that you had the talent to the voice?
Well, actually, this is something someone had mentioned to me. This is when I was still in uni, I think my final year of uni. They suggested try the university radio, but I was still I'm like, what? What do you mean? I'm not interested in that. We had radio modules in uni. I didn't even
do a
single one. No, because it was literally entirely just I can't imagine this, because now I'm like, I cannot stop thinking about radio on a daily basis, you know. But then it was like, you're giving me a whole like module for radio production, and I've just not even looked at it. I mean, interests really do. Interests really do change.
Yeah.
But when you're finally given an opportunity, I think when interest, it's like anything, you know, you can grow up and when you're 50, you decide I want to learn how to fish or something, and then you're like, no, I really want to learn how to, you know, catch big fish. You're in the deep blue sea at like 50, you know, interests just change. So once the interest in radio was sparked, I think it was me and my mom. We were both just like, we just have to do this.
Yeah? So your mom also did
my
radio
mom
with you?
Not radio, like the search, you know, to
search
try and get into mainstream radio. She was really behind it and really pushing me forward. And we were like, it's gonna happen. And it just happened eventually.
Beautiful.
I think it's that, like, I think I was kind of, not aggressive, but I was so like, I was just not gonna take no.
Absolutely.
And if it was a no, I would be like, let me look somewhere else. Yeah.
So how long would you say you invested in your pursuit of radio, and what are some things you did in order to get you to this place? Yeah.
When I was, it's because I'm just remembering, and I used to like do an actual 9-to-5 job.
Wow.
And then I remember when I was on online radio, I begged them to give me the drive show and allow me to come an hour late because I'd still need to leave my job to make it there. And then they just agreed. I think because it was an online station, they were very flexible, but I was like, if I can just come from like, okay, so I'd probably leave work at 4 and then just that hour commute to the online radio station, and then I'd be like, let me just allow me to just be a part of the drive show, but start an hour late. And they did agree. So I would do that, oh my God, for months. And then at some point I was like, I just need to choose, you know? I resigned from my...
Just like that? What were you doing before?
So I was working at the Ivorian consulate. Actually, this is, you know, that's a whole like diplomatic world of a different... totally different world, right? But eventually I had to... I think I just decided, I was like, well, the online radio was actually not even paying much, you know, because it was online radio, they were new, they had just set up, so we're not really making money to pay us.
They paid you in exposure or something like
well,
that.
actually, because someone from here did hear me on that radio station, and yeah, it's weird. We used to think nobody listens, but people clearly do. So I quit my job at the consulate. And I was like, I'll just commit to this online radio. And then they gave me a mid-morning show on, actually, because now I have all the time in the world, and other responsibilities, you know, along the show, which was fun, which got me to learn a bit about. So I think when I was coming here, I had already known quite a few things of, you know, how things work, proposals, and, you know, selling shows, and, you know, coming up with schedules, and just a lot of random things. So I think by the time this opportunity at KISS came, I was like, let's go.
Let's go, let's get this.
Let's go. Oh, my first show was like, let's go.
I'm sure.
You know, I didn't have any nerves. That's the weird thing. I was not nervous. I remember meeting Shafi and Adele, and they were just like, just two lovely characters, you know. And then my time came at 10 o'clock and we did that show. It was just... It felt very comfortable, you know. I felt
as though
very,
this
like,
is where I need to be.
Yeah, I just felt like just good. It was a good first show.
Okay. So, away from the radio side, what do you do for fun?
What do I do for
cooking,
fun?
baking, cycling.
I love cooking. So, I love cooking and doing DIY projects. This is like me time. Cate time, and if it's not just chilling and watching movies, but cooking and like DIY project, like using my hands to do things, so much fun.
So what's something amazing that you've done this year?
This year? Oh, lots. I've made lots of kitchen, like storage stuff for kitchen, for living room. I think if you just follow me on Instagram, and you'll know the kind of little things, you know, I'm always spray painting here and there.
Beautiful.
But also voiceovers. I mean, other than radio, I think lots of people know me for voiceover acting, which has been, I mean, such a joy.
What are some of the best voiceover projects that you've done and highest paid voiceover project that you've done? Yeah.
Without stating figures.
You can give a range.
Well, we're not going to state figure. In the hundreds of thousands. Let me tell you, voiceover work, if you find it's not possible. It pays, we just don't know. We just don't do much about it. Oh no, now we are.
Yeah.
In Kenya, in Africa, there's just actually a Voiceover Africa conference that wrapped up last week. That was like a whole showcase of voiceover acting across the continent.
Yeah.
Actors, opportunities, jobs, production companies, just a whole shebang. That kind of shows like, there's a lot happening in the voiceover world. Excuse me. I've done lots of highest paid, without stating figures, was a documentary for the standard gauge railway when that was still being, it was like they need the CRB, whatever they're called, I can't remember, the Chinese something corporation had to do like updates for the president at the time, so he could see like this is how we've progressed from A to B to C to D, and they packaged that in like a documentary to send to the press. So the president heard my voice in a couple of SGR documentaries. That was fun. So that was highest paid because of the company and the reason they were doing it. Along so many others, like TV ads, animations, TV show voiceover stuff. Yeah, there's a lot.
So 2 more questions for you. First things first is what 3 things would you advise someone who is starting to get into the vocal voice industry, voice acting, presentership, everything? What would you advise them to do in order to develop that craft, whether it's at home, if they don't have as many resources, those kind of things?
Yeah, well, I had 0 resources.
Yeah?
Oh my goodness. So when I started doing voiceover acting, I actually remember, and this might be a lot of TMI.
We're here for it. Give us the
Oh my God, I'm about to say this, but so I had found myself in certain situation where you're going to use the ladies at home, right?
Yes.
And that is not like a 10-second situation.
Yeah.
But around you, there's a lot of products. There's like air freshener and like face wash and like body. And on it, there's like a lot that's written on these products, right? Like if it's like their tagline or how to use. So I'd like practice reading out. Like with an air freshener, you're like, oh, Febreze, no. Like you kind of act it out, like you're the one selling the air freshener or the toilet paper. Not like I would do this all the time, but like on an occasion, So it's just kind of like I think that kind of just showed you can practice anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
Clearly in the toilet, on the toilet seat, and with anything, right? At least from there, we advanced. I found lots of voiceover scripts now.
Once you got here?
No. This is
online.
Online, yeah, just online. Everything is online. My goodness, literally. So I just found a lot of, like a booklet of like 1,000 scripts. I remember I printed them out. I went and laminated this book, and it just had like lots of scripts for different areas of retail, of different industries, hospital, if it's bakeries, if it's a car shop, so different scripts for these kind of businesses. And then I just practice. You have the script gives you all the direction. You need to sound warm, you need to sound authoritative, so just practice. I'd record myself, I'd listen to myself. I wouldn't share this with anyone. It's just practice. So you can it's practice. I think that is actually the word.
So
practice. Even for radio. Oh my God. My radio demos from like 2015, 16 are horrible. But it was practice, If I was to do a radio demo now compared to that, it cannot possibly be anywhere the same, so just practice, listen to yourself, record yourself. You just need to be familiar with your voice.
And how did you build your portfolio exactly?
So as you're looking for these opportunities and they start coming, now you just start you know, just building on that, you can say you've done this, you have the audios or the finished product to show for it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nice when people recognize your voice
Yeah.
from like adverts and stuff. It's actually so nice. I'm like,
I can imagine.
yeah.
All right, so to wind up this interview, I have a question which is called like the PowerPoint.
Okay.
And I got it from another podcast, so yeah, not right.
The PowerPoint.
But yes, if you were to pass on tomorrow and everything that you have ever done, all your impact would go, what are 3 things that you'd want people to remember as your philosophy, as the values that you put into this world and stuff like that?
Okay, well, one is honest. I'm a very honest person in my work, in my relationships, just with everything I do.
Yeah.
I just try and be as honest and genuine as I can. So honesty and genuity, is that the word?
Yes.
Genuity.
Yes.
Is one. Everyone must know that Kate enjoyed her work. I don't think you should ever be in a work or in a job that you don't actually enjoy.
Yeah.
The 5 hours I spend in that studio every day or in other studios while I'm doing voiceover work entirely is always work I enjoy doing. So I think, I mean, even if you just listen to the show, people do know, like,
You're having fun.
she enjoys her work. And third, what is another thing I'd like people? So there's this Beyonce song, I was here, I lived, I loved, I was here. Yeah, maybe that could be the most perfect soundtrack to whatever anyone has done in life. Yeah. I was here, Beyonce. Go and listen to that song and go and listen to the lyrics while you're listening to the song. Great song.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, so if you like this interview, please go ahead and follow Cate Sidede
at Cate Sidede, all across.
All across Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Please go on and also follow Kiss FM on Kiss 100 on Instagram. At
Cate Sidede all across, at Kiss 100 Kenya all across as well. Awesome.
And I have been Michelle Gray, your host for today. Thank you so much for tuning in.